Pick a card. How are you, the Great Houdini? Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you at your reading. Hi friends, my name is Crystal with Psychic MD, and I'm here to do another pick a card reading. This is the intention and selection portion of your read. So go ahead and take a peek at all the magicians up here. The one that you select will be the deck that we're going to be using as far as tarot goes. And we're about to find out, why are you considered the Great Houdini in people's lives? So pile number one, this be you. We're going to be using the Crow Tarot. Pile number two, this one is yours, and we're using the Highly Sensitive Tarot. And pile number three, we're using this deck right here with the Zombie Tarot. If you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome. And for those of you that are repeat offenders, thank you so much for stopping back. I also had a little magic trick of my own. Well, you know, it's not new. But we're going to go ahead and light the intention selection because I nearly forgot. And this has our intention. Great Houdinis. Yeah. We're waiting for the soul of those wishes to come back, which looks like this. All right, for real now. I'll see you at your read. Hi, pile one. My name is Crystal with Psychic MD. If you missed the intro, you chose this beautiful magician. It's the Crow Tarot by MJ McCallnane, somebody. Anyway, so this is your reading right here. Why are you considered the Great Houdini in people's lives? We're also going to add this deck right here, which I'll be selecting 2 cards from. Why are you considered the Great Houdini in people's lives for pile number one? And again, if you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. And for those of you that are repeat offenders, I really appreciate you guys. Why are you considered the Great Houdini for pile number one? I'd like 2 cards. Mystery. Wow. And the sun. What? What? Okay. It's got a little bit more information right here. People simply can't figure you out. Secrets and hidden meanings, right? And with the Great Magician, we know that with a magician comes alchemy. Alchemy to the 3rd degree. So we want to know a little bit about why you considered a Houdini. Well, basically you have mysteries and people can't figure you out. I feel like you are tight-lipped. You know that loose lips and ships, right? You keep your plans and your mindset to yourself until due time, until it's time to be released. Secret and hidden meanings. I also feel like you have a deep connection to the other side. With this cat right here, I feel like you are considered also like a charm, like a good charm to people. And you could have people like really naturally be magnetized towards you. You could have great gravitas. I feel also that you're the Great Houdini because with an energy like that, typically the cat comes to you, right? You would think the cat comes to you for affection, for maybe a pat or 2, and you might get, you know, a little hiss or something every now and then. But I feel like instead of allowing the cat come to you, right, and you're metaphorically the cat in this instant, I feel like people are so gravitationally drawn to you that you have to pull disappearing acts. Now, I'll give you a quick example out of my own life, not making it this about me, but here we are. Unfortunately, I guess I've been known to be, what do they call it? Oh my gosh, as somebody who does an Irish exit. I just learned a term and then I promptly forgot it. So when I do go places, I'm definitely going to take off and not say a word at some point. And, yeah, it just is what it is. So, but people think that you're the Great Houdini because, you know, in instances like that, they're like, well, they did it again. What the heck? What's going on? But with the Great Magician, there is great alchemy. So you are absolutely bringing some form of alchemy into the world. And we'll explore that in a minute. Another reason why you are the Great Houdini is the sun, conscious mind, masculine life force. So with these cards right here, I already feel like not only are you deeply connected, we have the sun and the moon, right? Or the moon and the sun, which feels awkward in saying, because we always usually say that the other way around. But I'm going to say that you have an incredible amount of balance to you, and you don't like anyone disturbing that balance. So if your balance appears or is threatened by anything, energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally, doesn't make a difference. I feel like you're going to take matters into your own hand, and you will definitely pull a disappearing act. The Magician right here, it is said about you, by the way, that you have been through really tough times, and you're an incredible magician also because of the alchemy that you draw. The elements of I heard brutality, of hardship, of blood, sweat, and tears, and maybe a few beers. I don't know. Yeah. The difficulty that you have experienced in this lifetime, I feel like it's been full front and center to a lot of people. And maybe not everybody, right? Possibly. But I feel like you've been able to alchemize a lot of these things. And it's a mystery as to how you can change something so heavy, so painful, so difficult, so challenging into something that's so incredibly beautiful. And with that, people see that you're the Great Houdini, that you rise again. You have very much like Phoenix energy, by the way. This reminds me of the Phoenix. I also feel like you're the Great Houdini in people's lives because you tend to maybe freeze people out until once again, it's like this raven, this crow is hidden until it's ready to rise again, similar to a bear going into hibernation and then coming out once again. And so I don't think it has anything to do necessarily with the outside world. It's that you realize that you can do your best alchemy going within. This is doing shadow work. This is doing all the tough things. This is learning new skills. This is practicing things, undercover brother kind of a thing. And I feel like wherever you go, things really bloom. I feel like you lend a sunny disposition. That's really hard to say. Into people's world and into people's lives. I feel like also you illuminate great mysteries for other people. And that's why people are drawn to you. But it's also why you pull your disappearing acts, quote unquote. If you says something out that isn't healthy for you, then you are going to keep it moving. So just because of Eminem's album, once again, he does have part of the title there, Guess Who's Back, you know, nods his old music. If you can't tell, I'm a huge Eminem fan, and I just thought this would be kind of fun and lighthearted. So we're going to go ahead and see a little bit more about this. Guess who's back? So when you do come back, after disappearing act, disappearing trick, whatever that means to you or other people, what does that look like? Guess who's back? And show me now. Nice. So we have the Three of Cups right here. And it's almost like you are back to celebrate, to enjoy life, to say cheers to the world, maybe to bring even cheers as well. And that's why people get addicted to your energy. But yeah, you could definitely be somebody who is guarded. So you have a lot to lose. Mostly, I feel like you're balanced. I'm looking at the wings extended. And with a Magician, this is your mojo. This is your reason to get up in the morning. This is your, maybe even your solar plexus, right? This is saying, hey, I have a lot of fire and desire to maybe do this in the world, or I'm getting reconnected to what I'm passionate about, okay? And I feel like a lot of that has to do with your connectivity to the other side, to spirit, to source, whatever it is that you personally would call it. I do also feel like with this Houdini, that part of the reason why you become that is because people actively seek you out. They want to kind of leech off of your grasp onto your energy. And I don't feel like they do that deliberately, or that I don't feel like they understand quite that maybe perhaps it's draining. And maybe perhaps there needs to be a balance and moderation. They just, all they know is that they feel really warm and vibrant and fascinated when they're around you. But they don't really understand that this can pull and draw on your energy. And you're not meant to be a battery for everyone else. You are perhaps meant to help them find their own battery and inspire them to really become their best as well. So with that, I feel also that you could be a little bit on the defensive. You stand on high ground, and other people that want to come towards you, I feel like you're just going to like block and keep it moving. You're not going to mess with that. Any energies that want to pull you down, anyone that wants to pluck your feathers, what? Hell to the no. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So guess who's back? Guess who's back? What? The Sun clarified by Strength card. Look how beautiful this is. So you're the Great Houdini because you can pull tricks that no one else has seen. And once again, it does come to your strength, to a level of precision, to a level of beauty that you brought about, I feel like from deep darkness, from places that people have no idea. They've never traveled. They've never thought about things like this. You could have come from a land. I'm hearing a land of oppression, a people of oppression, a family of oppression, of great control, of intimidation even. You could have come from a family lineage that maybe perhaps is very stringent on what they think is okay and not okay. Like, I don't know. And this is not pro and cons. Everybody has pros and cons in all demographics, I believe. But maybe even like arranged marriages and stuff where somebody didn't want it, that kind of a thing. Because to be honest, I feel like a lot of those marriages actually work out. And not work out a fuerza, right? Like you have to. But anyways, my rant's over. So I definitely feel like this right here is alluding to your strength and how you've been able to convert something that's perhaps scary, maybe even scary within you. And you've been able to perhaps close your own eyes to that which is like frightening and just go and take a deep dive and say, you know, I need to go ahead and talk to that lion and see what is going on. What am I afraid of? What is it that I need to conquer? What is this massive strength that like this animal can potentially eat me, devour me, and I'm simply a crow? Knowing that perhaps things are so much bigger than you, but you've taken on the task. And maybe perhaps you're the Great Houdini because you have an ability to bring tower moments into people's lives, that you bring about a task. Maybe you take people to task. Maybe that's how people see it, right? With this 8 right here, I feel like you're divinely protected. You could love being in the woods and nature. You could love animals, cats, crows, like somebody else, you know, like me, right? The yellow, once again, I feel like a nod to the solar plexus, and then the sun. Shall we talk about the sun? Why not? We're talking about magic, the Great Houdini. I feel like you're the great revealer as well. And I want to take a moment just to talk about the sun, just because it just came to mind right here. So usually this is going to be my pile number 3s, but here we are, pile number 1, discussing this. Wow, are we brave? So we're talking about the sun and the incredible LED color and the behavior of the sun the past, I would say maybe like 5 years that I've noticed, 4 years maybe. But anyways, where is the beautiful reds and the beautiful oranges and gorgeous hues that we are used to having? I feel like if you look, it's simply not there. And I recently had a girlfriend go, yeah, I've seen it. And then she says, yeah, there was a fire. And I'm like, well, you're seeing other stuff in the air that caused it to have that hue. Similar to when you go by the bay and you have that smog effect, and it could look kind of beautiful if you don't really know what it is, right? But yeah, just putting it out there. That sun is no longer our beautiful sun. It's entirely LED and ugly as hell. I'm sorry, but that's my opinion. Keeping it moving, the Great Houdini. I feel like also people want to know your secrets. People want to know what makes you tick, what the secret's right here. They're like, why is it secret? They feel entitled to you. A lot of people that have known you for a long time, I feel entitled to your energy, period. It's almost like a ownership. Like, well, I've known you for this long and you owe me. And I think that you'd be thinking, well, owe you what? Like, exactly what? That is pretty interesting. Were you considered a Houdini? We're going to pull from this deck, the I Ching, simply because I can. And let's see. I don't want to make this reading long. So, and for my last trick, according to Eminem's album, and for your last trick, right, your Houdini, you come and go, disappear. Now we know why. And for your last trick, what are people going to be surprised about? We are going to read from the Great Book because I do not I Ching. 64. Number 64 can be of some meaning to you. Oh, it's got Spanish and English version, of course. One moment, please. And we're back. So listen to this. For those of you that chose pile number 1. It says, above fire, below water. Fire over water. Things must find their natural place. In nature, fire burns upward and water flows downward. They do not combine in these positions, so no immediate progress is made. Making sure that everything is serving its natural purpose will ensure a positive outcome. Attend to details as completion draws near. Help things move naturally towards success. And I feel like that is part of your talent. That is part of your Houdini magic, is maybe clearing things up in such a way and creating a separation of saying, no, this is actually like gain clarity. You know, you've had to tame the lion. You've had to take your time and really tame it, even to the point where the lion is decorated and blooms simply with your great talent. And I feel like this is stating that you may be clear the eyes of many opponents, opposers, fans, and foes alike. I feel like this is stating that you are divinely protected. I see protection here. I see success and victory and completion of cycles as well. And I feel like even this looks to me like a gate that you show people exactly where the separation of things occur, and maybe perhaps they can also alchemize things. Even though water and fire don't necessarily combine, it makes like steam, right? That they too can create an alchemy in their lives to improve things and maybe even to become the great Houdini in their own personal lives. It's not about disappearing. It's about making the biggest comeback of your life. Okay, so that's what I have for you. Pile number 1, if you're enjoying this kind of reading, please do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, namaste. Hi, pile number 2. My name is Crystal with Psychic MD, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile 2. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping in. I really appreciate it. And for those of you that are repeat offenders, I appreciate your time and energy as well. Hopefully everyone receives exactly what it is that you came here for. And if not, then I hope at least some amusement. Why are you considered the great Houdini in people's lives? And you chose this beautiful magician. So we're going to get a little bit more information, and we'll be using these cards right here. Pile number 2. Why are you considered a Houdini? Why are you considered to be the great Houdini? And once again, this is a nod to Eminem, his new album that dropped, that I am super stoked about, if you can't tell. The cat is out of the bag. Why are you considered the great Houdini in people's lives, please? Pile 2. Rest. Give yourself time to recuperate. And freedom. Interesting. I get a little bit more information. And we will be using the Highly Sensitive Tarot. You can find it on Etsy. It's an incredibly beautiful deck. No affiliation here. Why are you considered a great Houdini in people's lives? Maybe you leave in order to recharge your batteries. But I also feel like there is a serious, studious bent to you. I feel like you can just leave in order to kind of process things. And when you mean rest, or when people think that you're resting, like you're lounging or watching TV, or you disappear to go take a nap, you're actually studying, you're processing, you're chewing on things, you're really alchemizing things as well. Show me what I need to see for pile number 2. Why are these cards here? Why are you considered the Great Houdini? Look at the Strength card. Every single card in this deck is gorgeous, okay? I'm just going to put it out there. So we've got the Strength card right next to the Rest. Yeah, this is how you rejuvenate yourself. This is how you gain perspective. And you're the Great Houdini because you're the type of person that you can actually like leave the club or a party or something like that. Go take a little nap or go rejuvenate, process something, and then pop right back up. And people are surprised. Freedom, spread your wings for pile number 2. You're considered a Great Houdini because I feel like you prize freedom above all else. I feel like you are good about taking care of your body, about getting in touch with your body on what it needs. A lot of us are completely out of touch, and so this is really an incredibly beautiful thing. With this Rest, I'm looking at her hands and how she's looking at her own hands. And it could be also that you are perhaps a healer. Perhaps you are into Reiki, acupuncture, acupressure, massage therapist, of course. Any of those modalities and more that I'm probably not even thinking about. But I feel like you can withdraw in order to recharge your batteries. You could be someone who is known as a loner, and that's why you're considered the Great Houdini. It's like, oh yeah, pile number 2, oh yeah, they're off doing their own thing. Nobody knows. Yeah, they do that all the time, kind of pay it no mind. But what I feel like is going around you is that people are finally starting to realize that you actually have a level of intelligence, a level of coping skills, and also you've established a baseline for your level of freedom as well. I feel like when you do your quote disappearing acts, or when you take off to go rest, recharge, rejuvenate, maybe you do a vacation, staycation, you probably are not someone who really discusses it with anyone or many people. And I feel like there's a lot to be said. You could be known as a free spirit. For some of you, if you're into clothing and things like that, I feel like you could wear a lot of like flowy things. I feel like you're very flowy yourself, and you are in tune again with your own energetic fields. I feel like you could also get downloads from spirit and not even realize it. And sometimes in the process of communicating those things, or in the process of, it's almost like you're in a trance, and then you kind of wake up and you're like, wait a minute, wow, that's really deep. So there's so much alchemy. The magician by nature is an alchemist, right? But once again, I feel like this is very close. It's similar, not very close, because the Strength card came out pile number 1. So if you feel torn between like 2, maybe watch both. You might have messages peppered throughout both readings for you. And keep in mind, these are general messages. All of my messages are meant to be taken as they're beneficial to you. Leave the rest for someone else to pick up, however you see fit. If you'd like a private reading, keep in mind that my Etsy store is in the description box below. You can find it there. I have a few readings that you are able to purchase through the Etsy website. So, why are you considered the Great Houdini? There's a lot of air here, right? Show me what I need to see for pile 2. Oh, was I shuffling upside down? Okay, yeah, so you've been able to process a lot of heavy energy. And I feel like also pile number 2, you could be very empathic. You could feel what other people feel. You could intuitively know, like just by looking at a person, how they're feeling. And maybe perhaps this is stating like this is why you need to draw that boundary, and you need to go and kind of recharge yourself, simply because being that type or that level of an empath, you really need to take care of your own emotional needs. And maybe perhaps I feel like currently you're learning how to separate your emotion versus everybody else's, because I feel like you've taken on other people's emotions and not even known it. Now, the fact that, you know, 5 of Cups is typically known as a cup of sorrow, of loss, of really focused on a situation or something that has left your life, or you have left it behind, or it has simply ended by the laws of like nature, whatever. I'm gonna say that those emotions are magnified by other people's emotions as well. So it's going to be very important for you, pile number 2, and you probably already know this, is to learn how to get rid of that excess energy. This is grounding your feet, putting your feet in literal dirt, leaning up against a tree if you want to be subtle about it. I don't know, but I myself hug a tree. Why the heck not? So you could be known as somebody who withdraws when they get hurt or in order to process some pain. Or I'm going to say that you're considered Great Houdini because rumor has it that maybe you have broken some hearts and then you just disappear. But I don't think that's it at all. I feel like you're the Great Houdini because all of a sudden people think, well, you bring things into light or into question. I feel like you help people question their own freedom, actually. And they want to come back and wonder, like, why you start problems and then you disappear. It's similar to a tower moment. I feel like you can cause actual internal battles with the number 5 being here. I'm feeling more like the 5 of Wands, which is kind of like jockeying for a position, competition, things like that. So you could actually initiate directly or indirectly by design or, by accident, I don't know. You could actually initiate that type of a jockeying for position, that type of competitive energy without knowing it. And most of all, I feel like with the 5 of Wands, that's not present here, by the way, I'm just channeling. I feel like that has a lot to do with jockeying with your people's internal emotions about how they see things, how they view freedom, especially in this day and age, and things like that. And learning how to alchemize and change what is not beneficial into something that is substantial, something that's going to help them, and something that's going to help them to really feel rejuvenated. Now, in front of us, we have the 2 of Pentacles that you've been enjoying because I've held it while I rambled. Why are you considered Great Houdini? With the 2 of Pentacles, look at this image. She is literally in the air and all of these blooms are going everywhere. She's parting the clouds. I don't know if these are like orange blossoms. No, the orange blossoms, cherry blossoms. I don't know. But something fruity going on here. I'm going to say pile number 2. I feel like your energy is incredible. Like you could be a little retro, right? A lot of people are like into, depending on where you live, they could be into the scooters or motorcycles or, skates. I don't know. Their cars, hot rods, all form of, transportation, but this girl is selecting an old school like bicycle, which I love. This is one of my favorite cards in the entire deck. Well, I love this deck. Just buy it if you're into that stuff. 2 of Pentacles here. People feel like you're the Great Houdini because you're able to part the clouds. You're able to bring about a certain level of wisdom, a certain amount of levity where there was none before, a certain amount of wow. That just makes all the sense in the world. I feel like you give people epiphanies, but also once you leave that, they tend to battle a little bit within themselves to wonder how come it was so clear when pile number 2 was in the room and then all of a sudden they disappear and all of a sudden I have this war raging or jockeying for position within me, right? I also feel like there's something that's very graceful, very vintagey about you. You could love to wear skirts. You could have a very modest mode of dressing, but incredibly alluring. Something about you screams stage presence. Pile number 2, you have main character energy, whether you know it or not. And I feel like a lot of times you probably don't even know it because you're stuck in your head a lot. And I'm going to say stuck. I don't see the 8 of Swords here just yet. But with this magician, this person is all about the alchemy, all about experiments. You could be really strategic and writing things down. It's like, well, I think this, and let me see if that hypothesis has any merit whatsoever. So there could be a little bit of that going on as well. And you're the Great Houdini because I feel like you set out to prove, I keep hearing the truth. You set out to prove the truth that in everyone and starting with yourself. So you're like the prototype and you're not afraid to take risks and chances. And for some reason, I'm thinking about like electromagnetic field. You could work like sound therapy, experiment with things like that. You could work with subliminals. You could also be working on putting out subliminals, something with sound. You could be a sound person for like bands or big events. I don't know. But I feel like you're in your happiest when you're actually creating your own thing. And I feel like people don't really understand. Like with all the smoke, they're kind of fascinated by it and they're drawn to you. And you're the great Houdini because people really don't know what to expect of you. It's like you just kind of take off and you're like, I don't really get you, but I'm attracted to you, that kind of a thing. Now, also with the Two of Pentacles, I feel to mention is something that you're able to really juggle two things. And you're like, you know, the Two of Pentacles is all about juggling. It's about having a skill, and it's a little bit of a show-offy. For example, you could have like two jobs and you do them both equally well, and you are steady and steadfast with both of them. And sometimes you're like, yep, I got 2 hours sleep, but I got it done. Here we go. Day number 3. Let's do it. That kind of a thing. But then you could totally shut down, rest, rest and revamp. So we're going to look at really quick. Guess who's back? So why are people surprised? Like, guess who's back with keeping in theme with Eminem's new album, which I should link below so you could just see it. I'm guessing that a lot of people would not really be into it, but I love him and I don't, you know, it's my thing. So the Hanged Man, yeah. You prompt a lot of inspiration. You prompt an overview. You prompt people to go within themselves and really look and make real assessments of their lives and see, well, this is my landscape. This is what's going on. These have been like the valleys and the shadows and the peaks and the whatevers and all the different colors of my life. I feel like you create change in people. You create them wanting to really get an overview and really exploring their life as well, and maybe even scrutinizing and see what they can turn into a whole different story, a different narrative. If they don't like where they've been or where they're headed, you prompt an overview for them to really look at things again differently. I can't say it any differently. And I'm getting projector. You could be kind of like a generator or a reflector, where you reflect other and cause people to reflect on their own lives and things like that. But I feel like your hands are pure magic. Something with your hands, people could love it when you touch them. That sounds a little bit creepy, but I don't mean it that way. And so guess who's back? People get really surprised when you kind of ebb and flow and come in and out of their lives, however that looks. If it's like work people or friends and family, or people that you just casually see around town or city or traveling, whatever the case may be, all of a sudden they're drawn to do some more introspection, some more about what about my inner landscape, that kind of a thing. I feel like you're the great alchemist of the soul. That's what it is. It took me 14 minutes and 35 seconds to figure that out. You're welcome. Guess who's back? And I feel like when people see you again, they're like, dude, you have no idea how you sent me into this like alchemical change. But they're grateful for it. Yeah. Pile number 2, you help people end cycles. You help people separate and see what is good for them and what is no longer worth their time and energy. You help them to really head towards the sun, to really head to where it is warm for them, cozy for them, bright for them, what is going to really help grow for them as well. I feel like you open up a portal, a door, and you help people see that they've been perhaps living in a cave all along. And that's really quite beautiful. And for my last trick, according to the album again, why you consider the Great Houdini in people's lives. What is pile number 2, the last trick? If you're liking this kind of reading, please do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. If this resonates, do let me know. If not, I have over 700 videos you can choose from. Take a peek at those, if you will. And for my last trick, pile number 2. 55. Why am I not surprised with all the 5s right here? I'm going to go pull that little booklet. One moment, please. And we're back. If you chose 55, let's see if we can put this to where the glare is not killing us. Yeah, the number 55. So 5 is always about change. And that makes perfect sense because you awaken the portal in people. You're the Great Houdini, where you pull the magic trick. And actually, the real magic is pulling people's perspective back within themselves and helping them see things from a different angle. You're definitely an agent of change here. With the number 55, it's Fang Abundance. Above, thunder. Below, fire. Lightning and thunder are fleeting phenomena, sometimes occurring faster than we can fully perceive. So too does success sometimes burst upon the scene only to quickly vanish. One should enjoy times of unexpected abundance and not try to hold on to them or grow discouraged if the abundance wanes. Not everyone is meant for lasting success, but the periods of brilliance are gifts nonetheless. Interesting. And I think that makes me think of pretty much like America. We all, well, not just America, we all want to be like successful and doing better than our parents and better than great-great-grandparents and so on and so forth, and improvement and moving forward and prosperity. In order to do that, you have to really evaluate like what is prosperous. It's not just about monetary value. Look at your inner landscape, look from high above, and I feel like you're going to be making people make some soul changes, whether directly or not. I feel like simply by existing, by being you, by embodying your free spirit, your freedom, you're going to be able to pull that off. This is how you are considered the Great Houdini. I feel like I just need one more for you. That's a huge mission, by the way, pile 2. Okay. Play. Your inner child is here to play. Yeah, so in spite of everything, I feel like there's some levity again. There's strength in being joyful, embodying the moment. Embodying the pleasure of the moment is what I heard. Take it however you will. And I'm just going to say that maybe you need a little bit more joy in your life. With that freedom, I feel like you're a little bit rinse and repeat. So there's a need for the Great Houdini to take some time for play, to have fun, to really enjoy the moment and not be so stringent upon like how you're affecting the world or doing personal changes. Those are important too. But it's easy to be caught up in that. And know that you have the strength and the wherewithal to be incredibly focused. You could be known as somebody who has very beautiful, intense eyes as well. You could have a gorgeous lion's mane. Your hair could be something. Whether it's, your own hair or bought or whatever, it doesn't make a difference. I feel like you could be known for your lion's mane as well. And maybe you're into like shrooms and things like that. So that's all I have for you. Pile number 2, if you're liking this read, do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. Much, much love to you. And until next time, namaste. Hi, pile number 3. My name is Crystal with Psychic MD, and I'm here to do your reading. If you missed the intro, welcome, welcome. If you're new to my channel, if you are indeed a repeat offender, thank you so much for stopping back. I really do appreciate all of you. Hope you find something that is helpful, hopeful, or at least amusing. Pile number 3, you chose the Magician. And again, this reading is, why are you considered the Great Houdini in people's lives? You went with this Magician. I already have a feeling about this card, but we're going to see. And this reading is based on Eminem's new album, which is kind of fun. I could hear some of you guys laughing. You're like, really? I'm like, yes, I love him. I don't care. So, why you considered the Great Houdini in some people's lives? Let's see. Pile number 3. What do we have for thee? Why you consider the Great Houdini? Let's pull 2 cards. Listen. Listen. Silence your mind and pay attention. This card came out in another read, and I did shuffle. As you saw, give yourself time to recuperate. A lot of listening to your intuition. A lot of, oh yeah, and she has YouTube clothing. You should appreciate that. You're not going to care, but I think it's kind of funny. YouTube clothing appropriate reading. This is great. Silence your mind and pay attention. You're considered the Great Houdini because you follow intuition that no one else can see. They can't feel it. They can't understand it. They have no knowledge of it. And look at this. You're so fluid, I feel, that you can actually hop into any scenery right here and do fine with. It's like you're, even though she's not clothed, except for YouTube clothing, right? I feel like you were able to pop in and deal with all of the clouds and the fogginess and the not so sure. Let me gain a higher perspective. Let me enter meditation. Let me ask my spirit guides, things like that. I feel like you guys are already into the spiritual realm. You could be very well connected with the 5D, and people could feel like that's a bit radical or a little bit outlandish, or a lot of bit outlandish. I get that a lot. It's okay. You could really commune with the night sky, with the moon itself. You could also commune with colors and prisms and different variety and things like that. Of course, the LGBTQI, as some child put it one time. But also even the rough terrain. I feel like you're able to listen and get a premonition of what is to come, okay? The sun right here, even meditating. And then the waves and the emotions. And I feel like you're actually very centered. This is a beautiful card. But I feel like you're considered to be a great Houdini because people get really puzzled by your energy. They want to know how you know certain things. Now, one example I'll give you, I was talking to a friend yesterday, and she had mentioned she was going to the beach with some friends, and there were signs all over the place that said, okay, this is full, it's to capacity, basically. And they hit sign after sign of these like blinking signs that say, okay, we're full to capacity, no more. Like they're not letting people in because there's too many people, right? And she says, seemingly out of the blue, well, maybe the sign is broken. And so they continue to kind of mosey on forward and get to the toll booth, or whatever they call it, where you pay to get into the parks and things like that. And sure shooting, the lady's like, oh yeah, the sign's broken. And everybody in the car kind of gasped and said, didn't somebody say? And she absolutely felt that intuitively. She listened to her gut and felt it. And that's how she was able to come up with that information. And I feel like similarly, you're considered a great Houdini because people in your life go, wait a minute, didn't you just talk about this? And they're like, wait a minute, what is going on here? You just mentioned, you mentioned people doing parasite cleanse. And then all of a sudden this starts coming up in my life today, or it's coming up in my feed, or it's an issue relevant to some member of my family. Any of those things. I'm also going to say you're considered to be a great Houdini because people really look up to you, but as much as like their admiration is like you appreciate it, I feel, you get your self-esteem and your wisdom from high above. And I feel like when you bring it down to earth, it's alchemy, right? It's as above, so below. You don't think that this is like, wow, this is mine. This is my wisdom. It's almost like you're not trying to set yourself up to be a little god or goddess, right? I feel like you're the great Houdini because you're so elusive, even in your present state, in your flesh, in your meat suit, in your 3D life. I feel like people wonder, and it's like, well, this person's so connected, and yet when we're like, oh my goodness, you really knew what was going on in that sign, and it's all about you, and that's amazing. And you're kind of like, well, spirit told me, or my intuition told me. And so I feel like you're easily deflecting. And it's not that you don't want compliments, but I feel like you realize that the glory isn't in what was given to you. It's just the glory that's really available to all of us. I hope that's making sense. And that's not too far out there. But you know what? If it is, here we are. Here we are. Pile number 3. Okay, Ace of Wands, what's up? That's what's up. So rest, give yourself time to recuperate. Okay, I'm going to say that you're considered the great Houdini because you withdraw quite a bit. You could be a little bit reclusive, right? But I also feel like you're the great magician because you might come back and just cut off a bunch of stuff that doesn't behoove you. You might one day come back and say, you know what, I'm vegan now. I'm vegetarian, or I'm not doing any, I don't know, I'm doing all organic, or, this is what I'm doing, or I'm doing a self-care program where I'm fasting for 14 days, whatever your thing is. And I feel like you're cutting off anything that hinders. I feel like also like flattery. It could be something that maybe, I mean, we all get tempted with that, but I feel also that you're the great Houdini because you could see right through it. I feel like people that tend to just try to flatter you that have motives, I feel like you'll just pull a disappearing act and go and commune instead. I feel also that you're tapped into many different lives, not just this life. And people can feel that, sense that about you, even if you haven't really discussed it with them. This hand is pointing towards almost like the sun. Yeah. And so I feel like you can live like in one of the sunny states if you're in the US or in a place where it's known to be incredibly hot, right? Or people go there for sunshine, like Florida is known for its beautiful sun and oranges. Yeah. But anyways, this is pointing to having a lot of passion. So the Magician, I feel like you have whatever it is that you draw a lot of passion from. I feel like you draw your strength from spirit, from energy. I'm also feeling like you are claircognizant, like you just know things. And again, I feel like you can channel and not even know, or maybe you do know, because usually our pile number 3, you guys are really pretty on it. As far as spirituality goes, I feel like you're quite aware of different things going on in your body. Also, I know, I'm sorry, squirrel, but I feel like you're a great Houdini because I feel like you were able to really reset your own chakras and get into alignment and then pop back up looking fully rested, fully taken care of, where other people are stressed out and they're bobbing and weaving and running and trying to figure out, like that book, Who Moved My Cheese? Maybe there's a message there for someone. I feel like with this great magician alchemy that you have the ability to cut off that which is not good for you, that which hinders, that which holds you back. And I feel like very much like a scientist, you could then want to inspect it, take a look at it. But I do feel like you do your inspection, taking a look before you cut, right? Like look twice before you cut a leg off, kind of a thing, because we're looking at the leg right here. And with the leg, I feel like it's symbolic. It's a great Houdini act, and you're considered the great Houdini because I feel like you will cut off which way you are navigating towards, because the legs takes us places, right? And if you're headed down a path that isn't conducive to you, I feel like you're going to cut that off, and people will just get stunned because it's quite, in their eyes, abrupt. But little do they know that you're the alchemist and you've really looked into it. Yeah. Look, there's a lot about like nighttime communication, intuition, dream. You could be like a dream interpreter. You can get a lot of your own messages through dreams. Spirits can come to you in your dreams as well. You can get visitation from loved ones, your loved ones, other loved ones. I feel like you're very heart-centered because throughout this whole thing, you're considered great Houdini because you guard your heart. You're able to weather so many different storms and show people how it's done with grace and with finesse as well. That's really quite beautiful. Some people can feel like, I don't know, maybe you like to indulge in like green herb. There's a little bit about that, right? About smoking, and there's no judgment here. Been there, done that. And I'm probably just jealous that I can't smoke anymore, to be honest. But even right here, there's like this smoke coming out. There's a little test tube. So you could maybe partake in, I don't know, like shrooms or any mind-altering things like that in order to get a higher perspective, or ayahuasca trips and things like that. And again, no judgment there. But I feel like you are in the process of really igniting people around you. So you're considered a great Houdini because you come back renewed with new passion. And I feel like it could be a new passion for the same thing, perhaps. And you're like, wow, this didn't work. Let me do this. This didn't work. Let me do this. And people are astounded that you continue going after your passion, what makes the sun shine in your corner of the world, right? I feel like also there's an element of your dreams coming true in this pile. You're the great Houdini because you really listen to intuition. You don't listen to the yay sayers and yeah, do this and yeah, do that. You're listening to spirit, and that is your compass, your inner compass. And that is really going to help you. And with that, this was at the bottom of the deck. Stop. Just kidding. So I'm going to say, guess who's back? The Empress, bitch. Just kidding. And I heard it's Brittany, bitch. Yeah, all my music references are just coming back. Old school music. But here we are. So the Empress with the number 3 right here. Guess who's back is the Empress. I feel like you are incredibly balanced. You are somebody who is able to wield a lot of power. So you have the ability to be like the Queen of Swords, which is very much like this magician with this little handsaw right here. You can cut off anything that hinders. I feel like you're very intelligent, articulate. The way that you communicate could be cutting, but I don't feel like you mean it that way most of the time. I feel like you are also like the Queen of Cups. You've been able to embody that, where you're empathic. You can actually hear what is being said, but also you can look at the subtleties between the notes being sung, being spoken. You can hear what is not being said. You listen to energy, you listen to frequency. Echolocation is something I'm hearing as well. You could have like bat hearing. You could literally have supersonic hearing. And if you do, I am so jealous. Pile number 3. If you're liking this kind of reading, do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. If this resonates, do let me know below. Keep in mind, these are not personal readings. So if you'd like one, it is in the description box below, okay? With the Empress card right here, you've embodied all the different stages and mastered them. And now you've actually, I heard resurrected. So maybe you were in hiding or hibernating or working on self for a long, long time. And you're coming back out. There is a coming out energy of this, right? This is like repose, repose, withdrawn, withdrawn, sleep, channeling, and then finding your fire once again. And you're like, guess who's back? Back again. So the Empress right here, and this is like, stop. I am already the Empress. I already know, and I've got things going on, but you're the Great Houdini because you come with love, you come with prizes, but you also come with boundaries. If people come towards you with some sort of, you know, energy, frequency that is not conducive to you, you're not going to take it. I feel like you're very protective also. I feel like this is your... It could be literally a child. You're very protective of that which you love, right? Anything that has your heart, has your commitment 10,000%. You're not about like the little stuff. Now, this lady is committed to a zombie. And that's quite interesting because I feel also that you can be in communication again with the other side. You could actually be a medium, a channeler, and you have the ability, because this little girl can turn around and just bite her easily, right? But you embrace all things that maybe make people a little bit afraid. And that's kind of a Houdini act. I mean, who wants to be submerged and chained in a box for who knows how long underwater and expect to get out and things like that? Like, it's just not my idea of fun, by the way. So with the number 3 right here, I feel like you work really well with other people, but I feel like you've been kind of hidden and doing your thing for a long, long time. So it's just now that you're bringing back to the world, because this is the Guess Who's Back portion of your reading. Well, Shady's back. The Empress is back. Pile 3, you are back in full force. You have boundaries, you have limits, you are drawing to you exactly what it is that you love. You're saying no and stop right there with no nonsense of a mindset. In order to protect that which you are creating. And yet you're allowing cooperative and collaborative energy and efforts. So maybe this is stating that you are helping or you are embarking on a collaborative effort to bring about that which you love, that which is elusive to other people. And I feel like you can get the key, like messages literally in your dreams. You might want to keep like a little sticky pad by your bed or notepad. Everybody hates the word journaling, but here we are saying it, journal. Maybe you're getting these dreams that are really not dreams at all. And with that, I see like even a green comfort, like, well, who's using comforts? In the US, it's hot. Northern Hemisphere, super hot anyways. But you might want to do like, you know, green pillows or chamois, or I forget what they're called. Anyways, moving on here. So let's do this card right here because we're 16 minutes in and it was not supposed to be a long read at all. Except for I just got a jumper. Hold on. Yes. Guess who's back? It's you. You have been in hermit mode. I feel like you took a long, long time to be able to find yourself, find your personal power, to really fine-tune things. And it's a situation now where you're coming out in public. Maybe you're even coming out for the first time in a long time. Maybe you're starting to go out more, starting to be seen, starting to rub elbows with other people. So there's a an element of coming out into your community. Maybe this is literally somebody coming out. I don't know. And it doesn't make a difference to me. But I feel like you are here again to find your own frequency. The people that I'm all vibrate with you. People that vibrate, that are a vibrational match, Crystal, okay, with you. You're here to find them. And it's going to be like an automatic attraction. It's not going to be a lot of effort. I feel like they're going to be passionate in a similar fashion that you are, and they're probably going to have different skills than you do, and that is great because all skills, all hands on deck is what I'm hearing. I feel like you have a really big mission, and you're not totally clear on it, but that is okay. Hermit phase is ending for you, and that is going within and trying to find that star, that magic star, that dream of when you were a child. What is it that you wanted way back then? And bringing it into the forefront and aiming for that once again. It's like rerouting. I went within, and now I'm here. Guess who's back? That's pile number 3. And for my last trick, once again, a nod to the album. And for your last trick, pile number 3. Pile number 3. What do we see? We have card number 20. And this is from the I Ching deck. And I do not know this at all. Okay, so we have Quan, contemplation, above wind and below earth. Wind above earth. Contemplation brings perspective. Did we not just talk about going with it? Look at the book. So on the ground, the air is still, but at a height, the winds blow. Standing up a tall tower, really, one feels the purifying force of the wind. From this high place, contemplation brings perspective and clarity. The potential for spiritual power is fulfilled. Excuse me. And I feel like this is not the first time that you've really gone within, but I feel like this is going to be the first time that you really see the fruits of going within actually bear. And I keep saying these readings are not going to be long, but here I want to pull from a whole different deck that the other piles did not get. So let's see. Yeah, you're definitely connected spiritually, and I feel like you are here to really bless that upon other people. Maybe show other people the way, join forces with other people. Networking is feeling like a strong thing here. Frog. Frog! Are we kissing frogs? May the lily beneath your breasts allow you to drink from its healing waters. Be still, for there's serenity behind the drowning croaks. What? That's kind of funny. But I think with frogs, it's a symbol of great change, if I'm not mistaken. So I do think that you hold a light in the lamp for a lot of people. And yeah, and the fairy tale stories, the girl kisses a bunch of frogs and she kisses the right frog and it turns into a prince. So maybe there's an element of that princely value, princessy, whatever. I'm looking at this pumpkin right here. So maybe there's like an element of like autumn, winter kind of a thing before you, if you're looking for someone, right, for a partnership. This could be romantic partner. This could be any kind of a spiritual partner. And maybe there is an element of that to be found sometime in autumn, whenever that is, okay? Because these are timeless readings again. So you guys, give me a like, share, comment, subscribe if this resonated. If not, I have over 700 videos that you can look at your leisure. Much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste.